Hey guys, this is video number 2 in the song structure series where we're going to look at how to use song sections to construct a song. And in the first video of this series, we looked at the 7 common types of song sections, which include the intro, the verse, the bridge, the pre-chorus, the chorus, the interlude, and the outro. 7 common types of sections that we can use all of them or some of them, rearrange them and repeat them in different ways to actually build a song. And the song we used in that example was Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison, which is a nice illustration of how a strong melody and chord progressions that support that melody can really influence the structure of a song and the way it's laid out in segments or song sections that are a lot like the scenes in a play or a story, where each verse of the song is like a little vignette or a short episode that reveals a snippet of the story as it advances through the song, and where each bridge serves as a moment of reflection or a nostalgic longing for the subject of the song, the brown-eyed girl. And then each chorus provides the hook or the sing-along section of sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. In this example, all of the song sections or elements of this musical story followed the path and momentum of the music itself. The melody and the chord progressions were the driving force in the composition of this song. Though in this video, we are going to flip it, reverse the order of operations, to start with the lyrics instead, and then build from there. And the example we're going to use is Natalie Merchant's song Topsy-Turvy World. Now, you may know Natalie Merchant from her songs like Carnival and Wonderful, and her work with 10,000 Maniacs, all brilliant stuff. Though Topsy-Turvy World is a little more of an obscure song from her 2010 album Leave Your Sleep, which was an interesting project because every song on this album originated as a nursery rhyme or a poem. So basically, starting from a collection of children's poetry, Merchant took the written word and then animated it with music, enhancing the power of each piece with her masterful songwriting to produce a work of art that's more vibrant than an illustrated pop-up book. And the song Topsy-Turvy World is an awesome example, where she took this poem by the 19th century writer William Bridie Rands and turned it into an epic reggae-style song. It's brilliant. And you can see why it caught Natalie Merchant's eye, because it's a nice, surreal little poem that goes like this. If the butterfly courted the bee and the owl the porcupine, if churches were built in the sea and 3 times 1 was 9, if the pony rode his master, if the buttercups ate the cows, if the cat had the dire disaster to be worried by the mouse, if mama sold the baby to a gypsy for half a crown, if a gentleman was a lady, the world would be upside down. If any or all of these wonders should ever come about, I should not consider them blunders, for I should be inside out. So reading this poem, it takes only about 30 seconds to read it from top to bottom. It's a nice poem, but not quite enough to make a full-fledged song, right? So what Natalie Merchant did was she used song sections and some repetition to expand these words, to expand these lyrics, to make a full song that's just over 5 minutes, and this is how she did it. She started with the original poem and then basically broke it into units, where the first lines became verse 1. If the butterfly courted the bee and the owl the porcupine, if the churches were built in the sea and 3 times 1 was 9, that became verse 1. And then instead of just continuing on, like Rands did with his original writing, going through all the imagery of ponies riding masters and buttercups eating cows, Merchant took Rand's original poem and saw that there was a lot of surreal buildup to what's essentially the punchline of the poem. This line here, that the world would be upside down. That's kind of the gist that Rands was getting at, but it took him a while to get there with his words. So Merchant took these words and broke the lines into units, where the first few lines became the verse, verse 1. And then she cuts to the thematic chase by inserting a chorus here about the world being upside down and how it's a topsy-turvy world, drawing from the poem's title to reinforce that theme in this chorus section. And then the next few lines become verse 2 about the pony riding his master and buttercups eating cows and the cat that's afraid of the mouse. And then again, once that surreal imagery is continued in verse 2, she again inserted a chorus with the repeated lyrics of the world being upside down and it being a topsy-turvy world. That's chorus 2. Then she carries on with the third verse, then the insertion of a third chorus, and then verse 4 and chorus 4. So going back and forth like this between the verse and the chorus, Merchant laid the foundation of the song. In each verse, she sings about unusual things happening, and in each chorus she surmises that the world would be upside down if those things were happening. Again, unusual things happening in the verse, then the world would be upside down in the chorus, back and forth. So verse and chorus are the foundation of the song, and using the key of G, she came up with a nice melody and chord progression to sing all of this. The melody just uses the G major scale, notes from that scale rearranged in different ways to create a nice tune. And the chords likewise come from that key to support this melody. The chord progression in each verse is G or 1, C4, D5, A minor 2, D5, back to G1. And then in each chorus, the chord progression is G1, C4, D5, E minor 6, D5, C4, G1, C4, G1. So I'll play through the first few sections here so you can hear how they sound. If the butterfly courted the bee, and the owl the porcupine, if churches were built in the sea, and 3 times 1 was 9, then the world would be upside down, yeah, the world would be upside down. What a topsy-turvy world this would be. World would be upside down, yeah, the world would be upside down. If the pony rode his master, and if buttercups ate the cow, cat had the dire disaster to be worried by the mouse, then the world would be upside down, yeah, the world would be upside down. What a topsy-turvy world this would be. World would be upside down, yeah, the world would be upside down. World would be upside down, yeah, the world would be upside down. So it's a really nice song that goes back and forth between the verse and the chorus like this. Though to put a bow on it, Natalie Merchant added a few more sections, including the bridge right before the last verse that includes the chord progression of the verse. So G, C, D, A minor, D, G. So that's the 1, 4, 5, 2, 5, 1. Then after the bridge, we hit the home stretch of the song with verse 4 and then chorus 4, all using the same chord progressions that we just looked at. But then right at the end of the song, we hit the interlude. It's a section that Merchant added that then drops to that minor 6 chord, E minor, and it gives it kind of a darker, moodier sound. And it bounces between that and the minor A minor chord, the minor 2. And then at the very end of the song in the outro, Merchant comes up with a really cool chord progression, which is the 6, 5, 4, 1, 5. So it's E minor, D, C, G, D, hanging on that chord of tension, that dominant 5 chord that wants to resolve back to the 6, 5, 4, 1, 5. Six, 5, 4, 1, 5. And it's such a satisfying chord progression that Merchant actually added it to the start of the song as well to kick it off with that chord progression in the intro. So the intro is basically the bookend of the outro on the other end. So it's and that 5 chord naturally resolves into the first verse of if the butterfly courted the bee and the owl the porcupine. So we just are back at the start. In this way, Natalie Merchant took William Bridie Rand's original 19th century poem and brought it to life through music, using a handful of chord progressions and some different song sections that were repeated and rearranged in different ways to expand this all into a nice, full-fledged, beautiful composition. Now, if you want to hear the original recording, which you should do, it's awesome. I've included a link to it below. Obviously, Natalie Merchant performs this way better than I do in this song analysis, but this is a nice look at how song sections can be used to create a full-fledged song. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you in the next video.